Hello, g'day, I should say. And welcome to Just Tack, Only Tack Live. A friend came up with that today, Only Tack, kind of like OnlyFans, but Only Tack, if you didn't get that reference right at the start. But welcome. I've been scrambling, trying to figure out how to get this all sorted because the usual software that we use wasn't connecting to YouTube. So I've had to manually come onto YouTube and rapidly set up all of the things that need to be set up. And I hope they're all working. So, Charlotte and Floating Island, cool name. Let me know if you can hear me. Oh, there's some hearts going. I like it. Yeah, let me know if you can hear me and see me and all that kind of stuff. I hope I can. I can see the chat, which is great. I'm going to go live on Instagram too to get people to come here. How exciting is that? Because I have a feeling that more people would join me live over there. Ashton Richardson, the beard is looking fierce. Thank you. I actually trimmed it today. Actually, this is a bit of a debut of my new hair. It's a bit of an interim hair. I've cut off all the length. Chris, hello from New Zealand. Hello. Why isn't this working? Here we go. This is fun, isn't it? This is fun. To interact, join me on YouTube. Search for Just Tack. How good is that? Hopefully. Oh, I'm your favorite and best actor ever. That's very exciting for me, because that means quite a lot. All right, going live on YouTube as well. That's exciting. Will we be touring Soapboxed? I think it's been announced that Soapbox is going to have a short run here in Melbourne, which is super exciting. And I should be a part of it. So far, I don't have anything that conflicts. And I think pretty much everyone's coming back. If you did see the rehearsed reading on the peninsula. Hello, Anne K from Norway. Very exciting. Getting a bunch of people coming into the Instagram live too. If you want, come over to the YouTube and you can ask questions and all that kind of stuff. I was rapidly getting this all set up because certain things didn't work, and so now I don't have all the questions, etc., up in front of me. So I've got to get them up. So I've got to fill in the space here. Of course, if you are a Patreon member, thank you very much. But your questions definitely will be answered first. Now I've got to find where my little thing for Patreon is so I can. Here it is. Oh, excellent. We're finding everything, guys. This is really good. Thank you for joining us. Oh, thank you, Ashton. I nailed the comedic parts in Soapbox. That's good. I'm glad because at parts I was trying to be funny, but you may have laughed at me just in general when I wasn't supposed to be funny, which is also good. I actually don't know any particular moments that might have occurred, but it could be fun. All right, I'm getting everything up, which I should have already had up, but you know what? I've had a hectic couple of days, let me tell you. I was in Brisbane yesterday. Hello, everyone on Instagram. Come over to YouTube if you want to join in on the fun and ask me questions and that kind of stuff. But thanks for. I figured I'd go live on Instagram as well. There's everybody. Well, you guys can. It's like Inception. Oh, that's not going to focus, is it? Well, my face is there. Focus on it. Wait, there you go. See, Inception. This is a bit silly. Hope I didn't. No, I couldn't have doxed myself in any way. Well, let me give you an update on what's been going on with me. Because actually, the intro from last week's ep with Deborah Lawrence, the amazing Deborah Lawrence, was a few weeks ago now because we got ahead. We recorded a bunch of episodes because Peeping Tom, producer Tom, was headed to the UK for a holiday to see his family, and so he didn't want to work while he was over there, which is fair enough. I mean, it's lazy, but fine, whatever. It's okay, Tom. You do you. Uh, no, he's been working really hard on the podcast, so I was very happy for him to go have a bit of a break over in the UK, see his family. I think he comes back at the end of this week, and I've continued to record. Got a bunch of exciting interviews coming, but obviously they need to be edited, and I leave that up to him because that's his part that he does, and he does it very, very well. So next week we will have a bit of a different ep as well. But the following week after that, we're coming back with a huge guest, which you all will very much enjoy. So I'm excited for you to see that one. But yeah, so what's been happening with me? Very hectic few weeks. Very hectic few weeks. More hectic weeks coming up. I've been traveling at least once a week interstate for like 24 hours. I've been rehearsing play school. I shot a little thing yesterday, which I won't reveal yet. Not a big thing, just something small, which came about because of one of our future guests, who I interviewed in real time a few weeks ago, who will be in a few weeks from now on the pod, who's an amazing person, has a massive presence on YouTube. That's kind of a bit of a clue, but you won't be able to guess who it is. If you do, I'm impressed. But yeah, shot a little thing with them, or shot a little part on their bigger thing, which they kindly just sort of chucked me in, which is really, really nice of them. And so I was in Brisbane for sort of 24 hours, which was hectic, but I got to see my brother and his family, my dad, catch up with my niece and nephew and have a play with them, which was really exhausting. Amy was like, "Oh, you're going to have some time away from Ari, get some rest and recovery." But in reality, I saw them and it was even more energy being used, so much running, so much. They love playing this game, which I made up, so it's my fault, called Go to Sleep, and which basically primarily is me trying to get them to go to sleep in a play way where I have to get them either onto the couch or into a bed and they've got to stay there. But of course, they're trying to get out of the bed and run away. And I've got to then go catch them, pick them up and chase them and chuck them back on the bed and couch, which is hilarious fun for them, but extremely tiring for me. But they want to play it every time. But no, it's a lot of fun. But yes, a lot of energy. And I was up very early to get to set yesterday morning. I was up at about 5:30, and then my flight wasn't until 8:45 last night, so I didn't get home till about 12:30. So it was a very long day, and then I was back up at about 6 because Ari decided to get up early this morning. So it's a lot of fun. And then, yeah, had a haircut today. Then I did a little ad audition. And it was one of those ads, or you might not know if you're not an actor, but auditioning for ads is kind of a strange thing. In some ways, you have to do more than what you might need to for a drama series. So, like, I had to basically film the whole ad, which is really annoying. It's like just because I used to help out with in a casting room and help with ads and that kind of thing. And in the casting room, you'd really break down what the ad's about. And you go, walk from this corner over to this corner. Then you stand there and you've got a burger, you take a bite, and you're really happy with this burger. And that's all you had to do. But now they kind of just rewrite the whole ad out and say, do these scenes. And it's like, multiple locations and all of this stuff going on. It's a bit mental. So for everyone on Instagram, come over to YouTube so I don't look like I'm doing something weird. and, but yeah, it's like a lot of work and it's a bit nuts. But anyway, we got through it. We did it. And now we're here for the live, which is exciting. I'm going to get to the questions that have been asked of me elsewhere. If you've got any questions, chuck them up in the chat and I will seek to answer them too. Thank you all for coming and joining us live. It's very exciting. Ness, yes, I'm still based in Melbourne. Hello, John Manley from Ireland. I wonder what the BM2HM means. I feel like there's something in that. Going from one place to another. I don't know what the initials of BM and HM would be. If anyone else has a guess, chuck it up there. Hey, Thomas from Brighton. Ah, look at all of you coming in, New Zealand. It's really cool how worldwide this podcast gets to be because of Neighbours. Yeah, it's just nice to have people all over the world kind of wanting to tune in and listen to me yabber on. Fortunately for you, Tom does edit the episodes, so you don't have to listen to me yabber on as much because he cuts that down quite considerably. Um, Everyone on Insta, head over to YouTube. I'm gonna go do that for a little bit longer because it get really annoying for everyone on YouTube to hear me talk to Instagram. Uh, uh, hey, John from Melbourne. Um, John Manley doesn't know what BM2HM means either. Isn't it your name? Um, Big boy, how is Maddie doing? Have you caught up lately? Yeah, we had a chat about a week ago or so. He's doing well. He's taking care of the fam, doing his thing up in Queensland. If you see his Instagram posts, he's loving life. But it's Instagram, so obviously it's curated, and I'm always sus on those things. No, he's loving it up there, and the kids love it, and yeah, he's doing well. He's got a few things going on. Um, and Carl, yes, thank you. Uh, I'm assuming you're Carl B. The uncut version. If you're a Patreon member at a certain tier, I can't remember which one it is. You do get access to the uncut episodes. And look, Tom is ruthless, like genuinely ruthless. He will cut down those episodes. So I usually do the interview to his dismay. They go for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. One of them coming up is longer, and we may split it into two parts um, because it's just so long. But he cuts them down by basically half and gets them between 45 and an hour. So you guys don't have to listen to again all of the yabbering that I do like I'm doing now. It's kind of weird now for me live streaming, being by myself and having to do the constant stream of talking. I do watch a couple of live streamers every now and then. Um, and it's a bit of a skill that they have that they do, but I like being able to see chat and talk to you all and interact. It's really exciting. Um, so yeah, what else we got going on here? Will you be doing the Goodbye Lassiter's event by chance? Look, they have asked me, and because it's a ticketed event, I always say, is there an appearance fee? Because by me being there, obviously it helps sell tickets, as it would for any of the other actors. And I hope they've asked the same question, because at the end of the day, they're trying to make money. It's a beautiful thing to do for the fans, but the tickets are quite expensive. And they said there would be, and I'm waiting to hear back, but I haven't heard back. So we'll see. But it would be great to see everyone go back on the sets. It's strange experience to go and see the sets again, or the back lot at least. I had thought they were already gone, but they're still there. But they are definitely apparently going later, like September this year or something. That will be fully demolished, which is huge. But the studios themselves have been. Things have been filming inside of them, which is nice, and I really hope that into the future that they can continue to be used as studios. Don't know what else you could do with them because they are heritage listed, so they would have to be. Well, they got no windows, so I don't know what else you could put in there where people would go, or maybe there could be like indoor pickleball or something. But then still, like no sunlight. I feel like that's not great for people. But who knows? Squash courts don't usually have windows, do they? So maybe that's what it'll be. But I hope that it can still be preserved as a studio, and things will go and film out there because I mean it's cheaper out there, obviously, because you're not having to be in the city. But yeah, anyway, I hope that they can preserve because I've got a brick in there with my name signed on it and that kind of thing, and I really hope those things because basically everyone who was ever on Neighbours as a regular cast member has their own brick. And I would hate for those things to be lost. Like, I feel like that's kind of part of the heritage of the building. But, someone might go in there and all the walls get painted. Maybe that's already happened. I don't know. But yeah, I hope those things get preserved, as I'm sure that you guys would. I mean, you guys would probably go and do a tour just of the empty studios, even just to see those bricks. So I don't know. I don't know if on that farewell thing whether you'll be able to see the inside of the studios. Maybe not. But yeah, I don't know. Could be a question to ask TV City. Look, I would love to have Charlotte. Charlotte loves the Wiggles. You should love Play School more. Play School's the best. I'm just going to say. Anyway, it would be really cool if Jackie Woodburn was able to come on the podcast. But look, there's plenty of people that people ask for quite frequently that they'd like to see on the pod. And generally, most of the time, I've already asked them. But being on a podcast isn't for everyone. It's not the style of thing that they'd like to do to expose themselves in that way because it is quite a vulnerable space. And as you know, if you've watched the interviews, I generally try to um, give you guys quite a behind the scenes look and really access the person behind the face that you are so used to seeing. And that can mean that the conversations go into quite a vulnerable space, and some people don't really want to put themselves out there like that, which you have to respect. This is a modern phenomenon too of podcasts and doing these interviews, which are quite exposing in that way. And actors of the past weren't really asked to be so exposed. But now it's become kind of an expectation that, of course, you would do these kind of things, but in reality, you don't have to be. And actors, weirdly, people think actors are very extroverted, and some are, but quite probably more often than not, they're quite introverted. And actually, in their acting is what gives them access to being extroverted. But them as people are like being just by themselves and quiet. And often the actors were kind of weirdos at school. So they would, like you see the shows or whatever where it's the football star or the jock, so to speak, who then's the star of the stage thing and becomes an actor. But like that's pretty rare. Most of the time, it's the people who weren't that. I'm a rare breed where I was super athletic, musical, dramatic, and I could do everything. So yeah, that's why we're here. No. Thank you for loving the interview with Rob Mills. He's a great guy. And yes, he's super interesting. If you haven't checked that out, definitely do. All my love out to the Waitress cast with the show getting cancelled. It's awful and a really hard thing to deal with because for that kind of thing, they probably signed quite a long contract, 6 months, 12 months, whatever it is, and they're like a month in, and then they get told the show's cancelled. That's like unimaginably devastating because for some of them who got those roles, it was a big break for them. They'd finally scored a main stage musical, long contract. They finally have some financial stability, and it just gets taken away without them doing anything wrong. Um, from what I understand, I didn't get to see it, but the show was good. Audiences really liked it, but the financial times, the economy at the moment's really tough. People are struggling. They don't have the extra cash to go and spend on a musical, and so some have been shut. I think it's like four or something, which is really sad. Um, Mostly for the cast and crews involved with those things because ironically in these economically difficult times, everybody turns to entertainment, and they want entertainment to make them feel better. But quite often in these times, those entertainers are the ones that are at least cared for. COVID was a perfect example. There's no support for artists and entertainers, and that industry itself because we didn't have full-time jobs, etc. So there was no money being handed out to us because we were uh, well, I was very fortunate because Neighbours kept shooting in the way that did, but for so many, it was they have no work. All of the jobs, the hospitality, retail jobs that they were doing to fill in the gaps also weren't happening, but because they weren't full-time or something, then they weren't getting any support financially, which is kind of horrific when everybody was watching entertainment and artists and the crews to get through the time. It's really strange mentally how people can be okay with that, with the thing that they are loving to get them through, but not really caring about the people who made the thing. Um, okay, so what else we got here? They should sell furniture from Neighbours. That's all gone. I wish they had done something to, sell it or or do some kind of raffles or something like that. But there was so much of it, it would be very difficult. And the cost for them to organize that would have exceeded what the value of the items were probably. And also in the time scale that they had to get rid of it. So unfortunately, so much stuff either was thrown away or, uh, well, not unfortunately, but given to um, charity store things, um, which is nice. But then so many of those things kind of get lost in that people would go into that store not really realizing it's from Neighbours, because I don't think it would have been marked that way. When so many people, I think fans and stuff would have loved to have gotten their hands on even the simplest things. So it is, yeah, it's unfortunate all the furniture and stuff went. What is still currently there is just the back lot. I think the backyards have gone. I think it's just Lassiter's and the lake and that stuff is still that complex is still there. But they're all just so you know, like the Lasses Hotel has a little bit of an interior, but everything and the law office and police station have a little bit of an interior that one building does, but the rest of it they're kind of just shells. Like Harold's is just a shell, and it really smells on the inside of that. So when people were coming out of the door for Harold's in those exterior scenes, that you're standing in like this sort of musty cobweb everywhere storage room, and then you walk out as if you had a nice meal or something. um, well, thank you for all the chat that's coming through. Pinot Court wasn't heritage listed. That's understandable. It's people's houses. Um, and like for the people who lived there, they couldn't change their front yards really, which is why you notice when the show got cancelled in 22 or whatever it was, um, when it came back, there was suddenly some different backyards because they finally had an opportunity to do something. So they quickly like, oh, let's change stuff before just in case it comes back, which is fair enough because they had been those front yards have been exactly the same for what, 30, 40 years, which is a long time. Um, they should make Lasse's complex into a Lego set. Well, I guess you got to tell Lego to do that, but that would be cool. Uh, yes, Madeline West is coming up, which is exciting. We did ask for questions. If you were part of our Patreon, you did get to submit questions for her to answer. Did I go to stage school? I did not go to stage school. I auditioned for NIDA and Whopper. Whopper's the Western Australian version of NIDA. And they're probably the two top schools in Australia now. Hugh Jackman is Whopper. And there's a long list from NIDA, but both the preeminent schools in Australia. I got as close as you can getting into NIDA, but didn't get in. But then I booked work, and the friends I did have who went to NIDA or Whopper were kind of like, well, if you're getting work, keep working because most of my graduating class isn't working. So I was just sort of lucky to get work, and I did get to do a lot of plays and stuff with those actors. So I kind of learnt off them and was lifted to their level of acting, I guess. So yeah, no formal training that way. Did a bunch of short courses, worked a lot with Les Chandry, who's now got quite a lot of acclaim as an acting coach. He coaches Jacob Elordi as an example, but he's amazing. And he really helped me a lot. He helped me with my audition for Neighbours. What else we got here? Yeah, John, he went and saw Waitress. Great. 4 times. Amazing. Why are they canceling the best stuff? I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes they cancel things and it seems absurd because they seem popular or whatever. But sometimes there's strange things happening in the background with how the funding models work. I know in Australia, or at least it was, there was a certain amount of episodes you could do where you were getting what's called the producer offset, where basically a third or so of your budget gets funded by the government, basically as a thanks for making stuff in Australia. But that was limited to a certain amount of episodes, which I think they removed, which meant that Neighbours had to increase their budget per episode or per hour of content to qualify to get the producer offset, so to get some money back. So we had to spend more money to pay less, which was kind of crazy. But it meant the show, there was a shift in how the show was made and what it looked like and that kind of stuff. And we got a lot more shoots on locations and things, which you may have noticed. There was quite a shift when that happened. Um, a lot of Neighbours casting shows in Melbourne at the moment. Yes, Kate Kendall is about to do a play at the Athenaeum called The Homecoming, so everyone should go check that out. And the actor who played Big Kev is in Uncle Vanya at MTC, Melbourne Theatre Company at the moment. And Ben Hall, obviously, is doing really well in Pretty Woman and Whispering Jack later on this year with Bonnie Anderson. Very excited. I'm looking to get both of them on the show. That's just, maybe I've already interviewed one of them. I don't know. A male burlesque show called Exclusive Live has been one of the things that has got me through losing my mum. She died from dementia in June 2025. I'm so sorry for your loss. Exclusive Live is a regular show. I've never heard of that, but I'm so glad that it's helped. Yeah, no, losing your mum, especially to something like dementia, is super tough. Another Magella interview. Yes, I'd love to do that. I chat to Madge quite a bit. We're good friends. She's in Sydney now and doing well there. Yes, I'm going to get to the Patreon questions. I'm just in the general chat mode. Do I speak Japanese? No, I don't. Not well, only a little bit. It's always been something I wanted to do, but never high enough on the priority list that I've actually done it. My dad speaks as he was born there, but didn't teach us when I was younger. I think it was a political move because mum would have really hated if both me and my brother and dad all spoke Japanese and she couldn't. Are any of the Neighbours actors going on Home and Away? Well, I mean, if Home and Away wanted the actors, I'm sure that a bunch of them would say yes because work is great. Also, another interview with April and Zimmer. Yes, really enjoyed Deborah Lawrence, who is such a lovely lady. Yes, thank you, big boy. Could the powers that be not talk to Netflix, for example? Trust me, all of the conversations that could be had to keep the show going were had. They were speaking to everyone. It wasn't like they were like, oh well, we'll cancel the show. They were trying desperately hard for the show to keep going because they know how many people are employed by it. They're employed by it, so obviously they want the show to keep going. It wasn't like they just couldn't be bothered. It's an expensive show to make because there's a lot of episodes, a lot of cast, a lot of crew. So the streaming service, the channels and networks had to be able to basically weigh up whether financially it made sense for them because it is a business at the end of the day. Thanks for coming, watching the live, Jackie from Hobart. Yes, yes. No, people have gone from Neighbours to Home and Away as well. And look, for any other cast or actors that you'd like me to interview, yeah, always make those suggestions. There's a long list I already have that I'm trying to work through at the moment of the people that I know, and I kind of want to get through them first. And I'm trying to get as well a lot more of recent Australian actors who are doing big things or have big shows going on as well, to increase the amount of people that are coming and watching these podcasts or listening to them. And also then by that as well, then they might stick around and listen to the other Neighbours people as well and increases their profile. And hopefully you start to see them in other shows so you can watch them and enjoy them elsewhere. I haven't actually approached Margot Robbie to be on the podcast. I feel like I want to get to a certain stage before I do that, for her to be able to look at it seriously because, for her to come on this podcast she would be doing me a favor, and she doesn't know me, because obviously this podcast isn't going to do anything for her. She'd just be, she wouldn't get much value out of it, I would feel. I would get a lot of value because obviously a lot of people would tune in for that. Tim Kano, he's actually about to head over to Europe. Him and Rebecca Elmaloglu have announced they're going to Belgium. They're doing a meet and greet over there. I can't remember the details, but check out their socials. You'll be able to see it. Yeah, I want to get some people from Home and Away as well. Every basically the entire Australian industry, and some UK people because Tom's from the UK and he worked over there, so he's got some access to people there too. Peter O'Brien would be great as well. Mr. In Between. Well, I did work with Brad McMurray. He was on Neighbours, sort of close to when I started. So I might be able to get him on. But Mr. In Between is a phenomenal show. And if you haven't watched it, you should watch it. It's really, really good. Um, yes, Tim is in Melbourne and he did go to the Pretty Woman opening night. Uh, Did I enjoy seeing Tim getting eaten by a shark? I actually started watching that movie because Kimi Tsukakoshi plays his wife in it, and I was her brother in The Family Law. And but I got halfway through and then got interrupted, and I just never got back to watching the second half of the movie. So I haven't seen him getting eaten yet, which such a weird sentence to say. All right, I'm going to answer some of the Patreon questions because I've been talking for half an hour already, which is crazy. If you're on Instagram, come to YouTube. Just search for Just Tack and you'll find us. And you can get involved in the comments, the live chat, and chat to me that way. All right, so I'm going to answer the Patreon questions first because if you're a Patreon member, you get early access to a whole bunch of stuff. And look, to be honest, we're making basically no money on this podcast, and I'm making very little money anywhere else. And I'm really trying to figure out ways to make more money because kids are expensive and life is expensive. If you want to know how the industry is going at the moment, you probably check out how many actors are advertising their services in coaching right now. It has increased dramatically, literally in the last 6 weeks. Yeah, there's been a lot of people I know who are suddenly advertising their services as a coach. So it's tough out there. And while I love you all, and love you for supporting this as much as you are, need to make money somewhere because I need to be able to afford food and rent. Anyway, Jessica Donaghy, can you please interview some of the teens from the past era when I watched it? I'd love to see a Bridget and Declan reunion. What are they up to now? Or Zeke and Rachel or Dan and Libby? Look, again, I'm working through the list of the people that I know personally because I'm going to be able to get a better chat from them, a better conversation, and then we'll expand out from there. Because I want to offer the best interviews I can, and the people that I know personally, I'm going to give you a better podcast doing that. And yes, at the moment, I don't know whether I'm attending the Farewell to Lassiter's event. What was your favorite and least favorite David storyline? That's from Kayla Barry. Favorite storyline? I think it was just hashtag Darren because it went from start to finish, literally, basically from the first episode to my last episode. There was an element of that in it, and yeah, it formed the arc of my whole storyline and brought David out of his shell, and all of the things that happened to him kind of were around that, which was really cool. Least favorite, I don't really probably remember the least favorite. Least favorite weren't David's storylines; they were storylines that other people had, and I just had to be a functional part of that and maybe do something that David normally wouldn't, but it served that storyline. Otherwise, I can't really think of anything. The least favorite is always having to just accept that Paul's an evil guy, but he does it for family and he won't change and we don't expect anything. We just forgive him. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't even ask for forgiveness. He just sort of gets forgiven. It's crazy. What was it like? Kayla also asked, what was it like working on A Girl's World? And do you still keep in touch with the cast besides Charlotte as she's been on the pod? Yes, she has. If you haven't listened to the Charlotte Nickdale episode, I really advise that you do. It's a great episode. She's phenomenal. She's way more famous than me. She was the lead in an Apple series called Mythic Quest, which is really good, opposite Rob McElhenney. And stars people like Danny Pudi, who's famous from Community. And it's a really, really great show. So check it out. I'm a little bit in touch with Marnie Kennedy. Not so much Sophie. And I never really worked with the guys so much, so I didn't really have much contact with them. So it was mainly, but me and Charlotte obviously worked a lot together, being brother and sister. Um, and yeah, but Money's doing well as well. Okay, David Trotter. You got multiple questions. Number one, if your friends were asked to roast you, what's the first thing they'd all agree on? Oh, look, there'd be plenty of short jokes. I'm not that short, but even Matt Wilson tries to make short jokes. I'm like, Matt, you're short. He tries to make himself look tall. He will be on his tiptoes when he's behind a bench to make himself look taller. It's very funny. Look out for that. Number two, if you had to spend one day as Australia's Prime Minister, what's the first briefing you'd ask to see? Or the first briefing? Oh, I mean, everyone always wants to know some alien thing, but I don't know if there's all that much in. Or I don't know if there'd be that much of a briefing. Um, I don't know what I'd want to find out. Usually that question's what's the first thing you do, not worst thing you'd want to find out about. Maybe the alien thing. Yeah, be interesting. I don't think they'd know anything, but there might be some more. There'd be more stuff that hasn't been released because people might read into it too much. I don't know. Number three, you've interviewed so many fascinating people. Which guest has had the biggest impact on you personally? Well, that's a good question. I don't know. I don't know if I have a good answer. It was really nice seeing Riley Bryan, who played JJ, be as vulnerable as he was and so honest. Um, and it's always really interesting seeing someone go through the process of wondering whether they want to keep acting or not, and whether acting serves them as much as they're willing to serve it. Because acting's a thing that takes a lot from you and doesn't necessarily give you a lot because 99% of actors probably won't ever book a big gig. All whilst they may have spent years and years and years working towards that. And that's the sad reality. And that mentally is a lot to handle. So it's always interesting to talk to someone who's been able to make the decision of I'm not 100%, but mostly stepping away, um, and to be okay with that kind of thing. That was really interesting. Number four from David Trotter: is there someone you've wanted to interview but just haven't managed to make happen yet? What is it about them that makes them your dream guest? Um, I think somebody asked, if we could get Jackie on the show. Again, I'd love to interview Jackie, but again, the podcasts aren't for everyone, and that's totally okay. Um, and really, I don't think there needs to be any explanation as to why I would want to chat to Jackie. She's an incredible human being. Um, okay, Craig Hughes, random question: are you team Coca-Cola or team Pepsi? I'm team neither. I don't drink either. 90% of the time, honestly, I am drinking water, or I've recently, in the last sort of year, taken to drinking matcha lattes, because I can't really have caffeine. It doesn't agree with me. I just sort of get jittery and stuff, so I don't really like it too much. So yeah, I'm team neither Coca-Cola or Pepsi. Did Jackie Woodburn miss out on being nommed for a gold Logie? I wish we could campaign. Um, I don't think she thinks about it all that much. I don't think she's that focused on awards and that kind of thing. Although I think she would have loved that recognition and absolutely deserves it. Um, yeah, I mean, there's so many people at Neighbours who haven't been awarded uh, what they deserve, really. But that's just how the industry works, and a lot of awards are. Yeah, they aren't really merit based. There's a lot of stuff going on in the background with those things, even up to the level of the Oscars. Literally, shows have award marketing budgets, so not marketing to get people to watch it. It's literally marketing to get the show's awards. So that doesn't really happen in Australia because we don't have much marketing budget to begin with. But especially on American shows, that's much more of a thing. Um, you know, there's certain people, let's not name who they were, but one of them's in jail now, producers in America who were known for being very good at award marketing, and won a lot of Oscars and stuff because of that. Um, and Ruth Willis wants to know how I met Amy. I met Amy on Tinder, of all things. Um, yeah, that's basically it. We went for a bushwalk, and basically from that point on, that was it, kind of thing. It happened quite quickly after that. Um, but our first date really was a bushwalk, and then I took her to the premiere of Maze Runner 2. Not the best film for a first date because if you haven't seen the first one, which she hadn't, um, it was kind of confusing. But also, that whole film was just them walking from one place to another. Not a lot happened. Yeah. Anyway, that's how I met. That's how I met Amy. That's the Patreon questions. Again, if you want to get behind the scenes access to me and the podcast, join our Patreon and support the pod, because honestly, me and Tom need it because neither of us are really working at the moment. I've got some place clips and stuff, but they don't pay very well. So like, it's a struggle, guys. It's a struggle. Okay. What else we got in the chat? This is so fun. I don't even know how many people are in the chat. 30, I think. Hello, all 30 of you. Have fun. Please ask me questions. Yes, rest in peace, Terrence Donovan. I think I got to meet him once. Oh, no, yeah, I did get to meet him once very briefly. Obviously, I worked a lot with Gemma. But incredible. 3 generations of Donovans had been on Neighbours. And, obviously he led the way and was quite valued in the Australian industry. So it's a sad loss, but from what I understand, he led a very good life. But yes, rest in peace to him. Uh, the Doug Willis dementia storyline, was it done authentically? Very soap-like. I can't. I'm not familiar enough with the storyline to know, to be honest. Because was I around when it happened? I feel like I wasn't. Um, I didn't have any input. Was I? Did it happen when I was on it? I don't remember. Or was that when he came? Was that for the ending of the storyline? Maybe. Which I wasn't involved in it, so I don't. I didn't have any input. We still hold out hope for a return, even if it's a spin-off. I'm in the UK. Could you please say hello to my daughters, Emily and Christina? Hello, Emily and Christina, and Amanda Greaves, 9712. I always wonder what the ends, the people have numbers and stuff, what that actually means. I'm sure you weren't born in 9712. Yep. Uh, we love your podcast. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Serious question. Do many actors have ADHD? As someone who suffers from it, I'd think I'd be only one of a number of jobs I could actually enjoy. Honestly, I probably have ADHD. I've not been diagnosed, but I feel like I have a lot of the things. But probably, there's definitely people who do. Definitely. Whether it helps, I don't know. Whether we're attracted to acting because of it, maybe. Because, you're always doing different things. And also when you're in a scene, you have to focus in. So maybe, you get relief from the world because of that. I don't know. But yes, I believe there are a lot do. I'm going to head off. Bye. What was your first fan encounter like? The first one? And then how long did it take you to be comfortable with being famous? Well, I don't know if you're ever really comfortable with the idea of being famous, because famous is what the weird thing about being famous, and I don't necessarily consider myself all that famous, is that there is an assumption that if you have some level of fame, that then financial success is also there as the equivalent. But you can be really famous and not have any money. But it does kind of mean that there's an expectation of how you might spend money or how you might live and that kind of stuff, which people get into the trap of trying to live up to, I think, as well, which is tough. My first fan interaction, though, whoa, it would have been a long time ago, probably from A Girl's World, which came out in 2009. Um, and I can't remember what it was. There's always been some strange interactions that come through on um, social media and stuff, uh, which can be difficult to navigate because people will say things to get your attention, which are scary things, not necessarily things to you, but they may be making claims about themselves and that kind of stuff, and that's difficult to navigate because you're put in a position that's kind of unfair. Um, but I understand that we can provide a certain level of acceptance by talking to that person or whatever. Um, but that stuff can be tough to deal with, and I still don't really know how to deal with it properly. Um, blah, 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 blah. If I could have written a neighbor storyline, what would it be about? Ah, don't know. Something really fun, big. Oh, going on a trip somewhere and getting to shoot in off site for a week. Oh, I never got to do one of them. It sucked. I wanted to. The Logies are voted by TV Week readers. Yes, but who does the most advertising? And Channel 7 now owns, well, Bayer Media owns the Logies, but that is Channel 7. And Channel 7 now also broadcasts it. Okay, here's a simple example. Each year, the entire home and away cast would be invited, and we often got 2 to 4 tickets to go. And that's even when it was in Melbourne, so it was cheaper for us to go. They would have to put up the entire cast of Home and Away if they were coming. So and fly them. So yeah, that that's what it is. It's what it is. Interview with Harold and Madge together. Look, I again, they're people that I'd love to have on. I know Ian Smith slightly better, but definitely want to. We've got to reach out to Ian and just see how his health is at. I know he's kind of he had a turn for the better, and I'm hoping that's continued. Who's the better doctor, David or Carl or Clive? Probably Clive. I feel like he was involved in less people dying directly. David, I mean Finn, and also Gareth, who died because he didn't do something that was it his fault? No. Carl drilled into someone's head. Thank you, ads 913 YT YouTube. I know that bit. Don't know ads 1913 what that means. Thanks for what you're doing. You're filling the blanks us Brits never got. One question: do you think a darker or adult version of Neighbours would work? It depends how dark. The adult version, maybe, but I think what that would be just a different show. It would be you'd need hour-long episodes. Maybe you get 10 of them a year kind of thing, which a lot of other soaps are. That's what they do. Wouldn't necessarily have to be darker. I think one of the things that made Neighbours unique and special was its ability to bring the joy and the fun and the laughter and the comedy and juxtapose that against the serious stuff. It gave the relief in that way, which I think it did it quite successfully. It was one of the fun things as an actor to do because you would get to perform these really dark, heavy moments, but then also switch into like a sitcom kind of thing and do some dumb, silly stuff. And it was really fun. And it was different styles of acting in that way. Like there were times, there's an interview coming up where I talk about this with the guest, where you got to switch into like a completely different gear from doing something quite heavy and dramatic and then being able to go, oh no, this is quite a slapsticky storyline. I can do some silly physical comedy. David's work whenever David had an opportunity to be working out or doing some fitness thing or whatever, he was always terrible at it, and that was always a lot of fun. And I always did it in a way which, yeah, in real life, he's not gonna be doing that. I'm amping it up for comedy's sake, but I think you're allowed to do that in a show like Neighbours, which crosses genre in that way, and that stuff was a lot of fun for us. An adult version, I don't know if you mean like an R-rated version. I think a lot of people would enjoy that, and maybe it should be Neighbours OnlyFans Neighbours. That would probably do well. I mean, Scarlett Vass has done very well on OnlyFans, so I guess there is some appetite for it. And I would actually be really interested in interviewing her on this. I have to reach out to her because she's a lovely person. I have a lot of time for her. I had a really good relationship with her when she was shooting on the show. What else is going on here? But thank you very much for your donation, I guess you'd call it, of £10. Really appreciate it. Doug died before my time. Ah, yes. No, he did just before I came on. So I couldn't have been a part of it. 9712 is a random number generation when you signed up. Hello, Amanda. Hello, Kirsty. Added time zones to your short as asked. Thank you very much. I hope everyone helped. I mean, we've got over 30 people here, which they obviously saw that and were able to see the times and go, okay, I know when to go on, which is good because there's people from everywhere and I love it, but it's really hard to tell you when time. Like trying to choose when we put the pod out is really difficult to try to make it good for everyone, especially with the UK Australian time zones. It's tough. I mean, when we were doing interviews for the magazines and whatever over in the UK, we'd be doing them at like 9 o'clock at night, which isn't a normal time. We might have been up from like 5 a.m. and shot all day. And then we've got interviews at 9 o'clock at night with people who had just got up. Like, yeah, it's a strange world sometimes. Did I watch Wentworth? I watched, I think, the first season. Would you be interested in taking a role in the planned spin-off series? I auditioned for the spin-off series. Didn't get the role, which is unfortunate because it was a cool role. I would have loved to have been on it. It's such a good series of shows. I don't know how chronicle of series. I don't know how you describe that. What was it like filming an intimate scene? That's an interesting question. Obviously, me and Maddie. For those on Instagram, come over to YouTube if you want to comment and everything. Just come over to YouTube. I can see you saying, "Look down here," but just come to YouTube because people on YouTube. Yeah. Intimate scene. Yeah, me and Maddie, I was really lucky to be working with Matt in that regard. And I guess he with me because we had a level of trust with each other that what was important for us was never having to execute the physical stuff because that kind of was the easy bit. Because when we would kiss or anything else, you just do it. And then they're kissing. But the hard stuff is believably showing that chemistry of love that the two of them had between each other and the care, which not only comes out in the moments between them, but also when they are talking to others and interacting with others and maybe talking about each other. And so creating the intimacy that kind of intimacy takes more thought and more effort, because the actual intimate scenes, like our bedroom scene and that kind of stuff, we had Eve Morey being the intimacy coordinator for that. And she was brilliant. And all of our questions were never about the physical stuff. Like we got a general basic idea of what we had to do physically, but it was really more about fine tuning the script and getting the beats and the moments correct to build that invisible intimacy that happens in those moments, the looks and the pauses, the breaths, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So it's much better now filming with an intimacy coordinator, I think. For the most part, sometimes you get intimacy coordinators who are a little bit too hands-on, not in a creepy sense, but in a sense of not necessarily giving enough room for the actors to do it, as opposed to just giving too much coaching on it rather than allowing us to do our thing as well. Like there's a fine balance, I think, in terms of how much you want. But that all comes down to just having a conversation to establish that as well. Do you know your demographics for the lives? If mainly UK, you might be suffering due to it being early morning here. Maybe. But it's also, it needs to be possible for me to do it. And, if I was doing this in the early morning, really hard with the 1-year-old, and so it would be a UK night. Um, so in the evening, it's easier for me because often Ari will be, well, he's going to be staying up a little bit later tonight because his nap was later. But so there's all those sorts of things I'm trying to factor in as well. But yeah, there's plenty of UK, but there's also plenty of Australia and elsewhere as well. So and we can't cater completely to the UK as much as the UK is great and we love you as well. Hey, Tack, can you please say I can't give you a free ad, Radio TYFM. Hey, I don't make enough money. Maybe if you did a really sizable donation, I could give you an ad read. But I don't know what Radio TYFM, if it's a big thing or not. So, but yeah, no free lunches here. Do you still keep in touch with your on-screen daughter? Well, not regularly, but we had her on the pod, little Hannah, and I saw her on a plane randomly, and I'm really wanting to have her on every year because it'd be really cool to see how she grows up, really. But she may not be interested in that as she gets older, and that's totally okay too. But she is a legend. Um, Thanks for answering my question, Super Chat. To expand a little further, the dark episodes involving Finn and lat- latterly the dark scenes with Toadie and Holly in the desert. Yeah, I think the the adult level episodes of those, if that could have gone even further, a lot of that stuff, like it was dark, but I think I would have that would have been. What was really interesting is because we would have these nights where we would watch big moments like the wedding or the the what was it, Endgame episodes. We would watch them like back to back in a cinema, and that was amazing. And you really got it was in nicer quality, and the color grading looked better, and all that kind of stuff. And what I would have loved if there was like an adult version, if it was those episodes were longer and given more time, filmed more cinematically and that kind of stuff, because often the production value, purely because of the speed at which the show was made and how it was made to a degree, didn't reflect the quality of the content in certain ways, which was a shame, and the performances, if that makes sense. Hi, Nick. Don't worry about being late. No problem. You love the kitchen cocktails with Jane walking in. Yes, that was that was a fun time. I'm so glad that was with Annie. She is so good. Uh, she's so good. What was it like working with the two Nicolettes? Uh, Different experiences. They both did a phenomenal job at playing the role. They brought their own thing to each one, um, and it was different. It was really different because when we had a new Nicolette, then and also the time jump and the relationships had sort of changed and progressed in certain ways. So it actually made it easier for that relationship to shift because you didn't have the attachment to the previous the previous stuff that Charlotte represented. Um, Whereas with Hannah, it was easier to kind of say, well, yeah, things have changed. Like, we get along really well now, and that kind of stuff. What is it, the likelihood of Jackie coming on the pod? I sort of covered this. It's very, very, it's unlikely. I hope that in the future she might, but it's just not, podcasts aren't for everyone, and that's okay. What is the last series I binge watched? Well, because I've been flying so much in the last few weeks, just back and forth to Sydney and Brisbane, and then I've got next week to Sydney, and then 2 more times after that, one of which is for a Dementia Australia thing. Um, I do end up watching a bunch of things. I did watch what did I watch? Your Friends and Neighbours on Apple TV. That's the last thing I watched, the season 2, which is quite a fun show. It's a easy watch. It's quite sort of soapy in a way. What happened to the sexy blue box? Jackie got it at home. I would love if Fletch or Jackie kept that. I don't know if they did because it was just a box. But it would be very funny if they did keep it. Can you show to the ABC producers your awkward audition tape for Play School in a future episode of Play School? I don't know if they'd show it on Play School. I've never seen it because it wasn't a self tape like they may be now. And it was in the room. And I don't know if they must have recorded it, but I don't know if they would have kept it. I mean, that's a long time. That's 10 years ago. So I don't know if they would have held on to it. But I would love to see it if it exists. And also, there's different executive producers and stuff on it now. So it's like a whole different lot of people. So maybe it's somewhere. I wonder if they can dig it up. I'll ask the digital producer person. They've probably got more time to actually look for that kind of thing. Thanks for coming, Daniel. Glad you enjoyed it. I'll try to keep up the work. Would we have Tom Oliver on the podcast? Yes, I think he lives in Thailand. I don't even know how I'd get in contact with him, to be honest. Yeah, I think he's been working with like in Thailand for like orphans or like young girls, something like that. He was on the show for like a week or something while I was there, and I probably got to say one line to him in a scene and like 5 words backstage because he was always like rushing somewhere. He was super busy, and obviously he knew other people a lot better. And you go and chat to them. You know, who am I to you? Can you do an interview with Michelle M. Davidson, and Mia Madden? They are definitely on my list. I want to expand to get some more Play School people. Obviously, we had Matt Backer on. They're both phenomenally talented. Mia was the youngest person ever cast as a Play School presenter, and when I got to work with her, I understood why. She has bucket loads of talent. Obviously, is incredibly beautiful as well, super charismatic, but has an immense talent. And if she doesn't become a superstar, something's wrong in the world, to be honest. She's incredible. And Michelle's brilliant too, but she's already on her way to being a superstar. She's got a lot going on. I haven't had a chance to see Morgana's stage show. Can you bring back the Rocket Clock? The Rocket Clock is back on Play School. The classic theme song, probably not. I mean, I don't have any say over that, but things need to be refreshed. And obviously, things can be recorded better now and that kind of stuff. If you like the classic theme song, you can just look it up. I'd love to hear from Josh Thomas, how it was getting his show made. I mean, I've got a small chance of getting Josh on the show, both through Deb Lawrence and Charlotte McDowell, who both worked with him. But he's a very busy person. So, yeah, no, definitely would like to. How about having Lucinda Armstrong Hall? She's someone I've reached out to and I think we'll have on in the future. It's just a matter of getting the timings to work. What's my plans now? Am I still acting? Yes, but the thing about acting is, especially in Australia, there's not a lot of work. And to book something, you got to be very fortunate. And even when you book it, it maybe is 4 to 6 episodes and 1 season. So it's tough out there. Obviously doing Play School, I did this little thing, as I said at the start of the pod, but you probably weren't here. I did film a little thing yesterday in Brisbane with an upcoming guest on the show who's made a show that was filming, and they were like, why don't you come and film a little thing? I was potentially going to do a bigger role, but it clashed with Play School, so I couldn't do it. And so I just did something little just to be a part of it and have some fun with them, which was great. But that episode will be coming out in a few weeks. So you'll find out then what it is. And I haven't recorded the intro yet, so I'll be able to talk about what I filmed yesterday then. But yeah, I'm still an actor. But the thing about acting is most of the time you're not getting to act, and you are just waiting around or trying to get something of your own made or working some other job to pay for life. It's tough, and Australian pay rates aren't that high. In the US, it's a lot better, but still, competition's high. And politically, it's pretty hard to work in the US at the moment. What time is it where you are? It's 7 p.m. Yeah, thank you. I'm enjoying chatting with everyone. Would home and away appeal to you if the right part came up, or would you have to move? So, no, I'd definitely consider it because moving back to Sydney would be great. I grew up in Sydney, and so did my wife. Um, it would depend on the part. I'm not sure if I'd want to do, a full time regular role, or whether I'd do, a really fun like 6 months or something with a cool story arc, playing a villain because David was the opposite of a villain, so playing a villain would be really fun. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'd be open to it. It'd be fun. But if it was six month role, whether that'd be enough to move back, I don't know. Whether or would I just fly in and out? Because it's a lot to move family, etc. And you've got your rent and lease and stuff to sort out, and then you've got all your furniture and stuff, and that costs a lot. So to move. We were devastated when David died. It's one of the most memorable Neighbours deaths alongside Daphne and Sonia. Thank you. I appreciate it. No, they did really well. The production did incredible at the script, and then everybody around me, like Maddie and Tim, Madge, Stiffy, Stefan, etc., did phenomenal performances. Hannah, that really. I had the easy part. I just had to die. Everybody else had to grieve, and that's kind of what elevates the deaths. And everyone did an amazing job around that. And I really appreciate everyone's work around it. Um, what jobs do you do between acting gigs to keep afloat? Well, this is kind of a job. It takes up a lot of time, but it doesn't really pay. So, does that count? I'm being a dad a lot. I'm trying to look. If anyone's works corporate and they need an MC for an event, I'm really good at MC. Like I don't like I say that kind of jokingly, but genuinely, like I MC for Dementia Australia a lot, and that's probably one of the toughest things to have to MC because I'm the most part that I MC is their memory walk and jogs, and that event is one where I'm having to keep everyone's energy level in a really fun, light mood. But I'm also interviewing people as they cross the finish line and finding out why they're there, and often their parent or grandparent, significant other has passed within the last month, and that's part of the reason they're there. They're trying to raise money, etc. And so I have to give the right amount of solace and condolences to them, whilst at the same time maintaining a high energy that keeps everyone in a fun mood. And I think that's extraordinarily difficult. And I managed to be able to do it, which I think is part of the reason why Dementia Australia loves to use me. So yeah, if you've got some MC work out there, I'd love to do it to help pay for rent. What was it like playing a doctor? Did you learn any medical information? I learned a bunch of words which I've now forgotten. Um, no, I can't diagnose anything. uh, Peter should do the piano version of Eastern Rosellas. So Peter's generally the pianist and musical director on Play School. And Play School should hook up with the Eastern Rosellas. Joel Phillips is Joel Phillips and Miles Phillips, and get them on for something because that would be brilliant. What a great song! Such a great song. I found out about it because Maddie posted it, and then I reposted it, or he reposted it, and I also reposted it. Of course, Maddie finds that kind of thing. A lot of Neighbours actors went on to do music. Is that something you would consider? I can sing, but I don't have the passion to become a recording artist. I would sing in projects. I'm not sure if I would go down the path of doing full blown musicals, because they're tough, man. They're tough. Jeez. Yeah, you've got to be well practiced to keep up with the full time musical. But if the right role came along, I'd give it a go. Good morning, Darren from Swansea in the UK. Thanks for coming. You'd love to have Adam Hills in the pod. I'd love to have Adam Hills in the pod. He'd be great, really great. If you know him, hit him up for me. It was such a loss to the Australian television industry, having Neighbours and all those jobs and industry experience coming to an end. Very unfortunate to our art scene. Absolutely, Katie. Huge loss. And in 5 to 10 years' time, we're really going to feel it because where is the new talent coming from? Home and Away will sure be feeding it, but it's one show can be feeding. Every other show that you see from Australia won't be giving chances to people who already don't have experience. Neighbours could let people have a go in whatever role it was, whether as an actor, a director, a writer, a camera operator, whatever. We we filmed so many episodes that people could be given a shot. But if you're making 4 to 6 episodes and you're betting your whole career on this one series, you kind of can't go, "Hey, director, you haven't done anything before of this scale, you have a go." So it'll be the industry's gonna be interesting in a few years. Are any UK soaps available to watch in Australia? Maybe. Not that I know of. I think we can get, like, BritBox or something, but it's not really common to have here. Would you watch some of your favorite Neighbours eps and do live commentaries on them? Really hard to do because of rights and copyright, etc. Like if I was to do it, it would be like you couldn't see what I was seeing or hearing. So I don't know if that would be all that fun. Um, yeah, I'm not sure. I imagine other people do it. I don't know how they do it. They might have specific permissions or whatever, but then YouTube will flag it, and it's not easy to do. I think people do that stuff on Twitch, and I think they can get away with it. For some reason, Twitch will allow that, or maybe Kick would. But then getting all you to come over to there, it's a whole other thing. So if someone can tell me how to do it easily and so that YouTube doesn't copyright strike me, then I'd do it for sure. Australia makes some of the best TV and film. My favorite things growing up were Priscilla, Neighbours, Muriel's Wedding. Then as an adult, Offspring, Please Like Me. There's just so much. Like the talent here is amazing. The unfortunate thing is that when talent reaches a certain level, they've really got to look overseas. Otherwise, sustaining yourself as an actor, solely as an actor, is virtually impossible. Can I do an interview with Alex Paps, Abby Tucker, Rachel Coops, Karen Pang, and the others? Well, I'm doing an episode of Play School with Rachel Coops and another one with Abby Tucker in the next 2 weeks. But no, I'll definitely work through the Play School cast list as well. They're all awesome people who have amazing stories to tell. There are some TV shows and movies that are filmed in Australia that take place in America, like the TV show Good Cop, Bad Cop, and the movie Ricky Sticky. Yes, that is true. Most often, though, they don't pay the US rates for those shows. They pay the Australian rates, which is unfortunate. And often they'll have US cast come over who get paid the US rates and not the Australian rates, and who take the lead roles for things, which is unfortunate. Would I direct? Yes. I wish I had gotten off my butt and done a director's attachment, like an informal one with Neighbours. I was asked to, but a lot happened when I finished on the show with my mum, etc. And it just took me a while to kind of get to the right place with stuff, and it was too late by that stage. You should interview Nadia Sualha. She an actor and work on Loose Women in the UK. Oh, well, Tom probably knows them, so I'm sure that's possible. What getting Orion Kelly? What about getting Orion Kelly? He's great at speaking on autism. I don't know Orion. So maybe. Is he an actor too? Wait, we're live, but I can look up stuff. You'll just have to hear me clicking. Orion Kelly. I don't know Orion Kelly. Orion. Is he a podcaster by the looks? Well, I'm not really interviewing podcasters as yet. Maybe I wouldn't say no. I guess. Now let's. There's a bunch of questions on Instagram too, and this is getting long. So I appreciate everyone being here. Um, but I'll answer some of the Instagram questions. There's probably questions on Facebook I've got to look at too. Oh my god! I think it'll be. It's a question here. Linda Smith. Uh, how, here in the Netherlands, people are getting less tolerant towards people of color or people who are gay, for example. I wish it would be different. How is that in Australia? Did you ever experience racism? And if so, how do you deal with it? Is it a big thing in the acting industry? Um, I'll answer one at a time. How is that in Australia? It's still an issue here for sure. Did you ever experience? Yes. And if so, how do you deal with it? Um, Look, I'm not. I'm pretty righteous or justice driven, so it's hard for me to stay quiet when things like that happen. Strangely, quite often that experience is that the person who's said or done a racist thing or whatever it is, um, instantly becomes the victim and you become the aggressor when you may be simply saying, "Nah, that's kind of uncomfortable," because their assumption is that you're calling them a racist, and that's something that they disagree with in their core that they could be. So because they become very defensive generally, which I can understand, but sometimes it's best to try to hear what's being said and then just apologize and say, "Oh my god, I didn't intend that," rather than become so defensive. Um, so for me, it's like it's a much harder road to call something like that out, um, because then people turn around. Why? It's just a joke. Why? Like I have another friend who laughs at all of this stuff or whatever. And it's like, yeah, because that's just it's an easier way to exist. Is to make you feel okay about doing it. Doesn't mean it's okay. Anyway, um, that's kind of how I deal with it. Is it a big thing in the acting industry? Well, let's just say that certain casting directors have folders of actors and they'll put people of color in one folder. They'll have dramatic actors, comedic actors, potentially queer actors, and then people of color. So if a dramatic role comes along, they go to the dramatic folder. Unfortunately, that's not the same folder as the other ones. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. Um, uh, Wheatley, I popped my question here in case you do have a Barry and Penny update. I actually don't. I haven't asked Maddie about Barry and Penny for a while. Barry being the made up name for one of Maddie's kids, and Penny being the made up name for Barry's girlfriend. As far as I know, they've still been going well. They've had their ups and downs, as everyone does in their relationships. Um, but look, Wheatley, I will try to get back to you. Um, what was your favorite memory of a girl's world from Daniel Cronin? And would you have liked the boys to have met? Yes, I would have liked the boys to have met. Maybe that would happen in season 2, which never happened. Favorite memory? Look, hanging out and becoming such good friends with Charlotte Nick Dow, and going and having chili crab at like midnight because we'd walk. We lived, were staying kind of close to each other, and we'd meet up and then walk and just have the best chats, which we still do. Um, my question is from Just Jenny. If you could be any other character in Neighbours from any era, who would you be and why? I don't know. Uh, it'd be fun to be Paul because he gets away with everything. That's who I'd be. I'd never take it away from Stiffy though. He's too good at it. Are you going to do more acting or more audiobooks? I hope so. I really hope so. That's the thing with acting. I don't know whether Neighbours will be the biggest thing I ever do, and I hope I work for another 50 years. But I may have done the biggest thing I ever do already. Awesome. um, audiobooks, yeah, I'd love to do more audiobooks too. I've done one At the Foot of the Cherry Tree. It's a really great book. If you haven't listened to it or just read it, it's definitely worth checking out. Blah, 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 blah. Gemma interview. Yes, love to have Gemma on. Really want to have her on when her film's coming out, which I think is November. Ginger from South Africa. You're going to do any more acting or voice acting? Wow, the same question. One question apart, but I just answered that for you too. Then there's hidden comments. Why are they hidden? My question is, I loved you on Neighbours. Thing? What was the funny thing they asked you to do? What's something? The physical stuff, I guess, was the funny stuff that I got asked to do. There's some more questions here. I'll probably go for another 10 minutes, guys. So if you've got any questions, chuck them in the chat now, and I'll get them answered. I should also check the Facebook. Wait, did it get posted to Facebook? Maybe it didn't. Maybe I don't have to do it from Facebook. Oh, actually, it probably got posted to my Takaya Honda page, not the Just Tech page. So maybe the questions are there. Would I consider doing EastEnders, Corey, etc. in the UK? I'd definitely love to have a run on them. It'd be a lot of fun. Yeah, if you know someone there, let them know. It would be really great to interview some actors in the 60s, 80s who don't act anymore to get their perspectives of the culture during their time. Yeah, it would. I mean, if they don't act anymore, they may have left for a particular reason, which means they may not want to be honest. But again, like I'll work through the list of people I know because I'm going to get better interviews out of them first and then work out from there. And who knows where we'll end up. Maybe I should do a poll and like every now and then we get a blast from the past that's voted on by you guys. And again, it just depends whether they want to do it. They might not. Yes, Eastern Rosellas for the birds themed the concept for the week of episodes would be great. I agree. Except we film them like quite a few months out from their release, so it might not be as big a thing by then. But maybe they should just do something anyway. Peter, who's the pianist on Play School, would hate to be interviewed. He hates being on screen. It's hilarious every time he has to get on the set. He's like, oh. He's brilliant at what he does, but he does not want to be on camera. Were you ever invited or attended any gay pride events because of it? Yeah, we were at Sydney Mardi Gras. We had a whole float. It was freaking amazing. It was one of the best times of my life. A phenomenal experience to be on a float at Mardi Gras, representing Neighbours as part of the first same-sex marriage, etc. Yeah, me and Matt had an absolute ball, and a once in a lifetime experience. Really incredible. Can you do a Birds Thieves week on Play School? Well, they've done them. I'm sure. There's all of the themes I feel have been done. But yeah, this has been a lot of fun, guys. If you got any more questions, chuck them up. I'm happy to go for another 5 minutes, but I'm so tired. Which means you could probably ask me something and get a more in-depth answer than maybe I should be saying. Who would be your 5 fantasy dinner party guests? Oh, I mean, from any time, Jesus and Muhammad would be really cool because, like, meeting them for real, super interesting conversation, especially with both of them there. And any other person like that, I guess. Julius Caesar would be really interesting, mostly because I just want to know what it was like to live daily, and like how many of his soldiers needed glasses, but they didn't know what glasses were, so would just run at the other people like blurry objects in the distance. Kind of crazy when you think about it that people fought like that, and heaps of them probably should have been wearing glasses. Oh my gosh. Two others. Michelangelo would be cool. And just because like that Renaissance period of artists, really to know how their brains worked. Be cool. Newton, Isaac Newton. And similarly, um, be really cool. $100 donation. Oh my god, I don't know how to say your it Islana. Thank you so much. And yes, I will take my wife Amy out for dinner. Um, I don't. She's taking care of Ari at the moment. I don't know if she's listening to this, but I definitely will. So sorry, Tom. You don't get any of this money. This is for me and Amy. Thank you so much for that. Um, that means a lot. So yeah, thank you very much for that. I really, really, really appreciate that. Um, yeah, I mean, you always had a question for me, so I could do something. Here's a dance. um, oh, hey Wade, I'm good. Very tired. Very hectic few weeks, and a couple more to come. Um, well, I'd love to have Benita on. She's a legend of play school for everyone who doesn't know. Would you have ever Jessica Muschamp, who used to play? Yeah, she's we're friends on Facebook actually. Would you say yes if they asked you to come do Strictly Come Dancing? You know what? I would, because I do like to dance and I'd love to know actually how to dance properly. So if you know someone at Strictly Come Dancing, tell them to hit me up because I that would be so much fun. And Stefan sounded like he had so much fun on it, and he was devastated he got injured. Um, and he can't come back because he actually had done a few weeks or whatever. But yes, I would love to do Strictly Come Dancing. It's one of there's a few like reality competition type shows that I would do, and that's definitely one. Because you build a skill, and you get to work with really good people at the skill. So yeah, love to do that. So if you know someone, please let them know. Amanda, very happy to be doing this. Oh, you home educate your children and being able to interact with you is fab. Well done on being able to do that, because I don't know if I'd be able to. My parents were both teachers, in a way. Well, they were, but they were mostly gymnastics coaches. But yeah, tough. But good on you. Movie Cube, you've joined us. I haven't seen you in the chat for a while. Oh, well, today. Lots of Hollywood movies like The Matrix, Aquaman were filmed in Australia. Have you auditioned for any Hollywood movies? Hollywood movies? War Machine, which came out recently, but like it was a tiny random role. Like really, there was only one. It was Alan Richardson, and then everybody else had like a line here or there. But yeah, I guess so. But I don't think I've ever had a big Hollywood casting where I felt like the role was right. And that like, okay, I could really get this, you know what I mean? But not a lot. You know, it's so many things have to come in to line for even just an audition to come to you. Really, just getting an audition is a win. Do I need to play any sports? When I can train at the gym, generally I'm doing CrossFit, which I guess is a sport. I played a lot of baseball growing up. I played at a state level, which I loved. Played a lot of soccer. I can play pretty much any sport. I'm pretty, thanks to my parents being gymnastic coaches and they were formerly gymnasts themselves, I'm pretty physically adept. So outside of being able to dunk a basketball, most sports like I pick up really quickly. Can you do an interview with? Oh, you already asked that. Yes, I would love to. Annalise, it's backwards. Ah, yep. but it's a double A, which is yeah, Annalise backwards. That's yep. Thank you, Annalise, or who I will always call Esselana. Esselana. As soon as I've moved country, settled, and got myself gainfully employed, I'll be on the Patreon. Thank you, Nick. Where are you moving to? Who's the most famous person you have met? Um, who's the most famous? Sorry, there was a big bang next door, and I was just curious as to what happened. Who is the most famous person I've met? Hmm. A lot of the Australian ones like Rove McManus and that kind of thing. People are famous in different ways as well. So many. I don't know. I don't know. When I do the Traders, it's not a show that I've actually watched yet, so I probably. Can you do an interview with Zinzi? Yes, I'd love to. Or would you interview Steph Scully, uh, or your on-screen brother? Tim's I'd love to have Tim on. He says yes every time, but it's not a thing he likes doing, to be honest. How's Play School going? Great, love it. So happy to be part of it. It's a really special show to be a part of. UAE. Oh, you're moving to the UAE, packing up Germany now after UK and Spain for visits, then hopefully moving there after a break for Tris to start his job. Amazing. My friends, I have a couple of friends in the area. One's flying planes as a commercial pilot, and the other one's working as an engineer because it's a tax-free environment in Saudi. I'm sure, I think the UAE is the same. And yeah, they are enjoying it, loving it. Yeah. All right, guys, that's an hour and a half of me yabbering on. If anyone's got a last question they want to get in quickly, would you get Brad Willis and Ned Willis from Neighbours? Well, one of those people are coming up. I did an interview with them very recently. Did you get paid extra when you and Maddie had to show your bare butts? We should have. I mean, we work hard for these butts. You know what I'm saying? But no, we did not. And actually, that was one storyline which made no sense. We had enough towels for everyone to be covered. Zoe, as Amy, didn't need both of our towels. Maddie could have given her his, and I could have. But we both did it, and then we just stood there. It was very bizarre. But yes, that got our bare butts on screen. Favorite Play School toy is Scrap the dog. But thank you so much for joining me. This has been fun. We'll probably do another one of these in the future. Hopefully not in place of an episode like this week's one. But yeah, keep enjoying the podcast. Come join us on Patreon and support us directly if you can, or just come and join as a free member so that we know that you're sending your support without the money. Because I genuinely really love doing these interviews and giving you insights into the realities of what it's like to be an actor, the experiences on shows like Neighbours and others, because there is so many polished PR, glamour sort of things about being an actor and what the reality of it is. Or in shows like this, something like Smartless, they're talking to A-listers, which is great, and they get huge views because of it. And the reality you're receiving is their reality, but it's just a different kind of thing to what actors in general live. So I'm trying to give a little bit of insight into what that is, and make it as entertaining as possible. And yeah, all the people I've interviewed so far, when they have gigs and stuff, definitely will have them back on the show. But often as well, like that's another reason people might not come on the show. They don't feel like they've got something to talk about, because they'd like to have something to say. Oh, I've got this film or TV series or whatever coming out, because it's a hard thing as an actor to be asked like, oh, so what do you got going on? And they're like, oh. The same way I get asked, multiple times, like, are you still acting? It's like, yes, this this is what acting is. It's not acting most of the time. Very rare you're on a show like Neighbours, which you get to film all year round. Patreon, Wade, is a community. It's like a social media essentially, but you can subscribe to the podcast Patreon, and we give like extra behind the scenes things, or you get access to like the whole the long versions of the episodes that aren't edited, discounts to the merch that's going to come in the future, which I am working on. It's just technically quite difficult when everyone's everywhere in the world, because I don't want people to have to spend more in shipping than what the products are. Um, I've been to South Africa, love it, would love to do more safaris because it's probably one of the best things I've ever done in my life, especially as a holiday. I would do it every year if I could. Such a special experience. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for coming. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you for the questions wherever you place them here or otherwise. Um, I have enjoyed this. I really hope you enjoyed the pod. I hope you enjoy the direction it's we've taken it, and that you will continue in the future. Go back and watch episodes if you've missed them. I genuinely think they're all great. And if you don't like one, comment on it that way too. But if you can't like directly support us through Patreon in terms of money and stuff, then commenting, liking, hyping, joining us for these things, connecting on our social medias, sharing it. But yeah, actually, that's the biggest thing you could probably do as a free thing. I'm sure you have a friend that might be interested in one of the episodes, if not all of them. Share it with them, and don't just share it with them, start a discussion about it and say, "Oh, you've got to listen to this. I'm really interested to hear what you think about whatever that topic is." Like in Deborah Lawrence's one, talking about when, like my mum passed away, and I had pain in my legs, and her mum passed away, and the street lamp flickered, and those kind of things are really interesting, I think. And really interesting to talk to other people about. So you can use it as a way to reach out to other people as well. Um, but yeah, and if you have got any in any way can support the show and support us, I really appreciate that as well. And Tom does too. And give some love to Tom. He does so much work on the edits and everything else that he does. And but he doesn't get the direct thanks like I do from you guys. So um, yeah, thank you all. I'll end this now. Mwah! This has been Just Tack and only Tack. Me. It's like OnlyFans, but only tack. And I kept my shirt on. Bye.